In today's era of flopping, 63-point attempt losses, saving yourself during the regular season, superstars no showing or being injured too often during the playoffs, there's something those of us who have been watching for a long time have been missing. A warrior competitive spirit to fight through all of that BS. Players with a combination of that competitive fire that also have the skill and intelligence to put on a show and entertain us every night. There's never a fear about buying a ticket or spending 2 hours watching on TV and witnessing a dud. Granted, these players were always rare, but in today's NBA, it seems they're almost extinct. We always hope for the next rising star to be this for us once again, but recently they seem to not quite reach this level. Perhaps we were spoiled with Magic and Bird, and then passing the torch to MJ.
And he took off with the tongue out. And we all jumped. We thought we had him. And in midair, he switched it to the left hand. Oh, man. We said, you know what? Pass another torch. And they beat us 4-1 in that series. And when I went in after the game, after they had beat us, I told him, it's your turn. It's your time now. And sure enough, won 3 straight.
These three eloquently talked about building upon the competitive legends before them and passing it on to the next.
This accomplishment, combined with all your others, vault you over the Johnsons and Birds and Russells and Chamberlains and
No, I think that's something that I really can't say can be established. Each one of us play in our different eras with different teams, with different levels of success. And to compare all of them and say one's better than the next, it's an unfair justice to the art or to the artists. You know, being that Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, all the guys before me were the artists of this game of basketball, and we've all learned from them, and we've improved the picture to a certain extent. And to say that one improvement is better than all of it.
Who have you been sizing up for the torch passing? If I look at the players today and who would take what either I've done, that I've taken from you and you've taken from Elgin and expanded it even further, Hardaway is a great pick because of versatility and the things that he can do with the ball, without the ball, defensively, you know, to make his surrounding players better. Everyone says Grant Hill. I think Grant Hill is very similar to you, to Scottie Pippen. You see the passing of the torch to the next generation, but I ain't ready to give him that yet.
There's never going to be another Michael Jordan. You know, it can be a Grant Hill, it can be Anthony Hardaway, it can be Kobe Bryant, but Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan.
But it seemed for a while, Jordan was the only marginally impressed with this group. Kobe Bryant came into the league only concerned with winning titles, with initially his idol being Magic Johnson.
Your idol growing up was Magic Johnson, guy you admired greatly. Magic said, and Shaquille O'Neal, with whom you've had an up and down relationship, said that you are the greatest Laker of all time. Do you agree with that? And what does that mean to you?
Well, I'll never disagree with my elders. No, I'm kidding. I grew up watching Magic. I've learned so much from him. I can't sit here and be like, I'm the greatest Laker ever. To me, he is. I've stole so much from him that my game wouldn't be complete without him.
And then, once he got to the league, quickly becoming MJ. But his first 2 years, he ended up being concerned with how to get even more playing time, stuck behind studs such as Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Cedric Sabalas, and an aging Byron Scott. But by his 3rd year, he had become Shaq's full-fledged co-star and had started growing out his trademark early career afro. Which again, I remind you, many of the top GOAT candidates started losing their hair mid-career, so hey, bald and proud, baby. That year, they lost to the Spurs Twin Towers, who went on to win the championship. But Kobe and the Lakers learned valuable lessons in the playoffs that year. Shaq could be the dominant force, but Kobe needed to have a killer mentality in the fourth quarter with Shaq's foul shooting struggles. In the 1999 playoffs in the Western Conference Finals, Shaq went 2 for 4 in Game 1 in free throws, 2 for 10 in Game 2, 6 for 14 in Game 3, and 12 for 23 in Game 4 for a 22 of 51 shooting percentage of 43%. Kobe noticed this. While Shaq definitely carried and dominated in the 2000 NBA Finals, Kobe led the 2001 playoffs in win shares and was also very good in the 2002 playoffs, with Shaq of course dominating the big man-less Nets in the 2002 Finals. But Kobe was a late game closer in many of these games, hitting tough jumpers and beginning the development early on of his Mamba mentality. As Jordan had done toughening up Pippen and Horace Grant when they were mentally struggling against the Pistons, Kobe tried to do the same with Shaq after disastrous 2003 and 2004 playoff runs. However, it usually doesn't work if your teammate thinks they're the better player. Shaq didn't want to hear any of Kobe's demands of fitness and free throw improvement. It led to a bitter fallout where Kobe demanded a trade, feeling he needed to lead his own team.
It's funny, when we sat down, we did the interview together. He finally copped to the fact that after we won championships, he was like, okay, I can just relax and coast over the summer because I know I got a teammate who's going to be training 8-10 hours a day. And I was like, see, that's the BS.
That would piss me off. That's it.
Yeah. That's the issue.
Right.
Yeah. That's the issue. But also, it became it's not something that we couldn't have worked out either because we've been doing it, right? But I got to a point in my career where it was the rumblings, and some of it created by him that, Kobe can't win without me. And it was like, hold up. No, it's not true.
Right.
It's not true.
Right.
And I'm not going to retire and have people hold that over my head. Mm-hmm. I said, no, let's find out.
Yeah.
So it was just time to go separate ways.
But management decided to go all in on the younger Kobe and instead traded Shaq to Miami for Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, who later became Kobe's closest teammate, and Brian Grant. Now it was Kobe's team, and his journey to find Mamba mentality truly began in these trying years, in my opinion. Kobe tried the same approach Jordan did his first 4 years in the league. Huge shooting volume, spectacular individual performances, and like Jordan, was surrounded with shockingly mediocre talent. Kobe's mentality of pushing teammates often went too far during this period. While many of his teammates were borderline G League players, refusing to speak or pass to them undoubtedly didn't push them to improve. However, the Zen Buddhist Phil Jackson started getting Kobe to buy into Lamar Odom, Sasha Vujacic, Devin George, and others. While still not all-stars, Kobe succeeded like MJ in pushing them every day in practice to be better, in a very intense way. And by 2006 and 7, the Lakers were at least able to make the playoffs and have some competitive moments. But once again, Kobe was frustrated by 2008 and was demanding help or to be traded, when Mitch Kupchak pulled off an all-timer for Pau Gasol.
But two, and more importantly, Kwame Brown is gone. The City of Angels, Hollywood, just should be celebrating. Throw a parade already, whether you win a championship or not. This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. The man cannot play the game of basketball. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball. He's got bad feet. He can't really move, even though he's mobile. Doesn't really know what he's doing. Doesn't have a post move that he puts to memory that he can do 2 times in a row. He has no game whatsoever, plays no defense, doesn't have the heart, the passion, or anything that comes with it. And you're asking me whether they gave up too much? Please, the Los Angeles Lakers knew exactly what they were doing. They should be celebrating right now, and Kobe Bryant should not be saying a word.
Mark, this is an epic and historic day for Los Angeles because Los Angeles gave up nothing, and they got a big man who can run, rebound, think, catch. He is the anti-Kwame Brown. But Stephen A., nobody knows how good Pau Gasol is. He's never played in a meaningful NBA game.
But it doesn't matter because he's replacing Kwame Brown. And when you take it to the fact that you're replacing nothing, that makes you something. Kwame Brown, God bless him, is a scrub.
Now here's the really cool part about Kobe's story. To me, the loss this year to the Boston Celtics was really the year where Kobe figured out, like Jordan did before him, the craftsmanship of how to create a winning culture and how to steer the momentum of games towards a victory. Like Jordan had Pippen to be the soft touch with team camaraderie, while he was able to be the relentless competitive drive. Kobe had players like Lamar Odom, who hired a chef in training camp to really bring the team together. But Kobe knew who the number one target of his aggression needed to be. Pau Gasol, who got physically dominated at times by Kevin Garnett in the 2008 finals.
Kobe said he gonna set the tone to start the game. We said, I'm running through Pau's fucking chest. We was like, what? Man, you tripping. Man, that's your teammate. You tripping. You ain't about to do that. He said, first play of the game, then I'm running through that motherfucker. We was like, holy shit.
Kobe sent a message, but he also realized he needed to change his leadership tactics now that he had teammates actually capable of achieving something great with him. Much like the 1996 Chicago Bulls after their crushing loss in '95, the Lakers were on a mission, starting in training camp, ending with a record of 67-15. Now, if any of you that are watching this are wondering, Do I need to be a jerk to toughen up my teammates like Kobe and Michael Jordan? I feel strongly that no, you do not. However, I think in today's society there's a tendency among front offices, coaches, and star players that if you hold people accountable and hold them to a high standard in a direct and serious way, you are being a jerk. I think Kobe and Jordan would make the case that they just had a lot of pent-up frustration watching players who had many of the same physical gifts that they did but weren't putting in the work. I believe God has given us all gifts, and it's up to us to work hard to make the most of them. I haven't always done that in my life, but hey, starting this channel is one of the things where I'm trying to change that. I'm a firm believer in, to much who has been given, much is required. But here's the key, and if you get anything out of this video, please get this. Michael Jordan firmly believed this and he passed it on to Kobe. As I touched on in previous videos, MJ knew he could never lose a single suicide. Kobe knew he always had to be first in the gym. They knew that if anybody ever beat them, it diminished their ability to speak their mind and to lead. Kobe could never ask somebody to do something he wasn't doing. That 2009 season, Kobe embraced it all. He often guarded the opponent's toughest scorer, he sacrificed some of his scoring to get Powell going, and he pushed Trevor Ariza and Andrew Bynum, his young guns, to get more involved in the offense and really locked in on defense. Knowing Kobe as we all do, the only thing on his mind was either getting revenge on the Celtics or beating LeBron to show the world that he was still the best. Unfortunately for Kobe, neither of those things happened, and Dwight Howard's magic came through the East, which was interesting because they were the model for future modern playoff teams with a great rim protector in Howard and tons of tough, lanky three-point shooters like Rashard Lewis, the underrated Hedo Turkoglu, and the wannabe Kobe stopper Mikael Pietrus. But the Lakers were on a mission, and they steamrolled the Magic to win Kobe's fourth title and his first without Shaq. I don't want to brush over this title, but we will come back to it in a minute. The Lakers then go on to face the Celtics in their revenge series in 2010. This series, to me, really encapsulated Mamba Mentality. Kobe knew the Celtics were going to gun for him all series. He also had broken his index finger and, like Kobe, had said nothing to the media about it, but had quietly been working to change his shooting form to adapt. The most important thing Kobe brought to his teammates, though, was his fearlessness. I mean, this man feared nothing. And against the Celtics, and someone who said a lot of crazy stuff like KG, you needed that.
I was just ready to go. It takes a lot for me to get to that. And if I just heard what I think I just heard, then we have a serious issue.
Floyd got on like all fours and started like growling.
Boy, you scared the shit out of him. Kobe had the hissing. Kobe hiss at you. I was on my DMX shit. I wanted to growl.
And just a quick side note, a lot of NBA players don't take tough end of shot clock shots or end of quarter shots because of fear of dropping their percentages. Kobe was never scared of that. People talk about his percentages a lot to diminish him and his efficiency. And yes, he had some questionable shot selection at times. But he took the pressure off his teammates a lot, bailing them out of late shot clock situations where the possession was going nowhere. This dropped his field goal percentages and possibly cost him an MVP or two, but he certainly did not care. He was all about winning and being fearless. Now, back to his fearlessness in the 2010 NBA Finals. It was the little things Kobe did this series. After losing Game 2 to even the series at 1, with Ray Allen carrying the Celtics with 32. Despite having an off shooting night, Kobe and Metta World Peace made it a point to shut down Ray Allen the next game, holding the second greatest shooter of all time to 0-13 and 0-8 from 3 for 2 points to take Game 3. With the next 2 games in Boston and Kobe not getting much offensive help against Boston's swarming defense, he once again decided to lock in with Metta on defense. After his 38-point effort wasn't enough in Game 5, with Paul Pierce also scoring 27, a pivotal Game 6 in LA with the season on the line came down to Kobe and Metta's rebounding and defense. After getting cooked by Pierce in Game 5, they decided to make him a passer, make him pass to the bench players, and to box out hard, out-rebounding the Celtics 52-39, Kobe having 11 of them, and holding the Celtics bench to a crazy 4 for 27. People only want to look at points for finals performances, but if you watch the game, just the sheer intensity the Lakers brought to Game 6 and 7, a lot of that came directly from Kobe. He simply refused for the Lakers to lose. After 2 years of mentally toughening up his teammates from the disastrous Game 6 blowout in 2008, this time they got to Game 7 with newfound mental toughness. Games are always going to be knockdown, drag-out fights, especially Game 7s, unless you're Phoenix and Devin Booker.
Stunning 27-point lead. Down goes Johnson. 3 bullseye.
Oh no.
They're shredding him.
Oh.
And this one was an all-time fight. An ugly game on both sides, and from the start, everyone, especially Kobe, were struggling with their shot. A quick deficit, and all was looking lost for the Lakers. But with Kobe's tough rebounding and the mental strength he had challenged his teammates with in the offseason, they got back in the game to give Kobe a chance for his patented closing. And poetically, it was Kobe's possibly accidental trust in Meta that finally clinched the Lakers' title, along with 2 clutch free throws from his friend Sasha Vujicic, who Kobe battled and tested mentally every day in practice.
Matter of fact, get your hands off me. Don't touch me the rest of the scrimmage. Get your hands off me. There's gonna be.
Now, certainly other players have a more impressive overall statistical resume than Kobe. But if you watch the games, you look at the winning and the mentality, to me, he's the second greatest of all time. But those of you who don't ever watch tape and just go around doing the narrativizing, keep in mind, Kobe's the only player from the modern era to win 2 titles with no top 75 teammates. Now, after these 2 championships, the Lakers started to show their age. Kobe dropped off slightly, but Fisher, Gasol, and Meta all started their decline. While Andrew Bynum was still a beast in stretches, he was always injured and kind of mentally lost it to famed LeBron killer JJ Barea in the 2011 playoffs. Mitch Kupchak tried to revamp the team several times to extend Kobe's window, with Steve Nash and Dwight Howard being the main additions, but both were also starting to get past their primes. Although the Howard deal turned out to be pretty good short-term in terms of, I still think the Lakers knew Bynum's knees were degenerative and somehow hid it from the Sixers. But as we wrap up Kobe's career, I want to talk quickly about his 2012-2013 Vino season. Vino, of course, referring to, like a fine wine becoming better with age. This was my favorite season from Kobe because I saw his warrior spirit literally dripping on his sleeve every game. You could literally see at the All-Star break, the team was teetering. Steve Nash and Powell were injured half the year, and Dwight was playing with a sore back. But the second half that year, it seemed almost every game, Kobe was willing a second half comeback with ridiculous tough shots and steel will. He was absolutely determined to make the playoffs. I'll put my favorite 2 games from that year in the description so you guys can watch them if you want. But a ridiculous comeback against the Hornets, and perhaps my favorite Kobe game of all time, because I watched it at a Pizza Hut with 50 other screaming incredulous people, this comeback against the Toronto Raptors.
That shot is to make. Lakers down, in trouble, quickly. Bryant, 3 from the corner. Yes! And Blake gets it into Kobe. Kobe, good little fake. 3 to tie! 3 to tie! When are they going to learn that he's deadly? Gray comes out to double. Kobe around him. Kobe down the middle. Dunks it home! Kobe Bryant! Magnificent.
All these games were needed to even make the playoffs. And knowing the Mamba, he was thinking, just get me in there and let's see what we can do. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be, as Kobe tore his Achilles in the 80th game. The Lakers did accomplish Kobe's goal and barely squeak into the playoffs, but they were of course swept by the Spurs. I think at that point, Kobe still had the basketball itch and he wanted to see if he could overcome his own body one last time. But the Lakers had shed the majority of their assets to put that team together. And Dwight signing with James Harden, Steve Nash retiring, and Pau Gasol eventually leaving, ended up turning the team over to superstar Nick Young, who, while succeeding in having drama with rappers and D'Angelo Russell, ultimately couldn't help get Kobe back to the playoffs, as Kobe got injured multiple times. All this leading up to Kobe's final game. That year, Kobe was a shell of himself. The 2 games before that final game of the season, the Lakers had lost by 20 and 33. They were playing the Jazz, who, when the game started, actually had a chance to make the playoffs. Kobe knew that everyone came to that game and spent a lot of money to see him. A bunch of us went to a friend's house to watch his final game and pay our respects. We all groaned as he started cold and they started to fall behind, but he hit a few tough shots and seemed to bounce back. We settled in expecting a classic Kobe performance, trying to will a comeback by shooting the hell out of the ball. But with his age and how the season was going so far, we were sure it would be a loss or even a blowout. But slowly but surely the Jazz went a little cold and Kobe heated up. If you guys had never seen someone have absolutely nothing left physically and accomplish something with only heart, will, and determination, You saw it in this game. Absolutely amazing, man. That's Mamba Mentality right there. So what is Mamba Mentality really? It was a collection of things. It was this.
But I'm the best. But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
It was this.
Something happens, he comes down the court, and he's doing like this, you know. We go down the court again. He didn't take a shot, but we come back and Gary Beatty says, B, you got to take him out. Something's wrong with his shoulder. So I call timeout. Kobe comes over and I said, KB, you all right? He said, yeah, I popped something in my shoulder. I said, all right, man, I got to take you out the game. He said, no, I'm good. Yeah, I got another one. Swear to God, I got another one. Right?
Play left?
Yeah. So we go down the court. He posts up. Poindexter was his name, 6'7". He turns around, fall away, left hand, bam. That's what it makes it, right?
It was this.
After that season, he called me. I get a random call from a number I don't know, and I just happened to pick it up, and it was him, and I didn't believe it was him. Fuck out of here. It was really him. Anyone crazy enough to fuck with me is crazy enough to play with me. Do you want to be a Laker? And 4 days later, I'm there.
It was this. Working harder wasn't enough. I had to study this man maniacally. I obsessively read every article and book I could find about AI. I obsessively watched every game he had played, going back to the IU-PU All-American game. I obsessively studied his every success and his every struggle. I obsessively searched for any weakness I could find. I searched the world for musings to add to my AI muse cage. This led me to study how great white sharks hunt seals off the coast of South Africa. The patience, the timing, the angles. It was this. Even this.
I've seen a situation with how Kobe would handle Powell.
Oh, yeah.
Kobe would
he was super hard on Powell.
But then at times he would be able to come to the side and speak his language and really get Powell a little.
You know what's crazy with Kobe? I seen Kobe jump on Powell in Spanish.
Yeah.
Hey, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm talking with him like.
And summarized like this.
The most important thing is that you become the best version of yourself. That is the key. Get better every single day. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Right? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right track. That's Mamba mentality. Get better every single day.
To me, it comes down to these things. You fear absolutely no one. You outwork everyone so far and away that they become discouraged. And in competition, you step on people's necks until the buzzer sounds. And sometimes even then you keep your foot on. And I absolutely hate snakes, so you know how much I respect you, Kobe, that I put that in. Every time we shoot a paper ball at a wastebasket and yell Kobe, we will always remember this man and his Mamba mentality. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I love bantering with you guys in the comments. If you like and subscribe, it'll help me a lot. Thanks for all the support. I leave you guys with a couple of my favorite Kobe quotes and clips. God bless you guys. Peace.
And I don't like Brendan Bass being matched up against Bryant on the offensive rebound. Bryant is a terrific free throw rebounder, particularly against an inexperienced player.
Odom. Listen, Bryant, there it is, Jeff. Kobe Bryant gets the offensive rebound.
So Kobe now from the floor, 7 of 14. Kyrie against Bryant, who takes on the challenge. See if Kyrie does as well. Crowd anticipating a little one-on-one action. Behind the back, couldn't shake him. Bryant still an all-world defender, and he blocked it. Kobe Bryant says, bring it at me.
Kobe Bryant is one of the best defensive players in the league also. So don't get baited into something like this, because if a young man can play the defensive end, he did a good job.
Kobe, he dunked on me. That's when I realized I was still a rookie.
As a leader of a team, it's also your responsibility to elevate the rest of the guys. And in practice, for me, it was a chance to drive them, to challenge them. And this is where you have to know your teammates. It's important to know each and every one of them individually, personally, because then you know what nerves to touch. Powell was always Spain. If I tell them how they lost in a gold medal to us and how they're going to lose again, I'm going to beat your ass in practice just like I beat you in a gold medal game. He'd hate that. He'd hate that. But if practice is more intense and harder than a Game 7 will be, then a Game 7 will be easy.
You write in the book about LeBron James, the main thing the two of you discussed is what constitutes a killer mentality. What was your message to him?
Well, the message is always to go out there and dominate. There's no let up. Once the game starts and once the practice begins, you're in that mode. Everything's a Game 7. And when you approach every practice and every game with that kind of mentality, it bleeds into the rest of the guys. And then the rest of the unit has that same approach and that same intensity, but it starts at the top.
He ruptures his Achilles tendon. Then he says to me, I reach back there and try to pull it back down. I said, no, it doesn't really work that way. Try to walk on my heel to see if I could run on my heel, see if I could play that way. I said, it don't work that way. He goes, well, can we go in the back and maybe you can tape it up? I can finish the game. I said, it doesn't work that way either. I said, I'll let you shoot free throws. I said, but it's up to you. I'm shooting them. Okay. I've talked to him. To this day, pretty much, it was a shot at Paul Pierce.
Was he wheelchaired off?
He took a wheelchair off the court. So that was the message that he was sending to everybody in the league, and it was sent loud and clear.